where people are looking to rent their next home. And the city, more people are leaving to move into Nashville.
And a new name for a popular Broadway bar. Why the world-famous Tootsie's Orchid Lounge is tweaking its name and adding some items to the menu.
Now, News 2 at 5.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to News 2 at 5. I'm Bob Mueller.
And I'm Haley Wilkes. The back-to-school debate continues, and in some cases, the dreaded COVID-19 outbreaks are happening. Several COVID-19 cases are shutting down schools all across Middle Tennessee.
As News 2 Stassi almost reports, they are following state protocols and working to keep students safe while they learn.
Schools in Middle Tennessee are slowly getting back to class. Some online, some in hybrid mode, some in person.
We are temperature checking each student as they come in the building every single day. All of our desks are 6 feet apart, and if the students get closer than 6 feet apart, they have to have a mask on.
Within the first couple weeks, 5 different counties have had to close down classrooms or entire schools after students and staff tested positive for COVID-19.
We did have a confirmed case from a parent who is a faculty member this past weekend, and so we decided out of abundance of caution to quarantine 2 of our grades where children were involved from that family.
Ezell Harding Christian School may have the smallest of the current cases. Rutherford County Schools announced Tuesday Smyrna Elementary had more than 50 students and 8 teachers who needed to quarantine after showing symptoms or being exposed to the virus. Christiana Middle School also shut down, transitioning students to distance learning online for the rest of the week. Bedford County Schools also announced several cases Tuesday while naming only Liberty School and Shelbyville Central High. They say they have had positive students at every school, but none have shut down. Following state guidelines, schools must mandate that students and staff potentially exposed to the virus quarantine for 14 days. They must perform contact tracing and notify parents immediately. In Coffee County, 2 schools had to shut down before school even started, primarily due to staff having to quarantine. The district had to rearrange teachers in order to staff their classrooms.
Teachers are doing more than they ever have in their career, and they need our prayers, they need our support.
East Hickman County also notified parents last week of a positive case, but the good news here, we have not heard of any students or staff hospitalized due to exposure at school. Stassi Almost, News 2.
Other counties like Williamson, they are starting in-person classes next week. New tonight, the director of schools in Franklin County acknowledges a letter was sent to students in a high school classroom advising a child tested positive for COVID-19. Students will be asked to wear a mask to school. He says they have had 3 or 4 students test positive district-wide in the 2.5 weeks since the return to classes. They will notify Coffee County schools, but still plan to play football Friday night at Coffee County.
Switching to virtual learning is putting a financial strain on some families. According to a survey from Credit Karma, about a quarter of parents say they have actually gone into debt to pay for at-home school expenses. This includes the cost of breakfast and lunch. More than half of parents said they spent more on school supplies as well. And new information, pharmacists in all 50 states are now allowed to give childhood vaccinations. That makes it easier for kids to get those boosters that they need. This is a brand new directive to prevent future outbreaks of measles and other preventable diseases. The head of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services used emergency powers to allow for this. The move is designed to help prevent vaccination rates from falling during the pandemic.
When it comes to vaccines, everyone wants to know when one will be ready to combat COVID-19. Well, News 2 was allowed access to the center at Vanderbilt, where Phase 3 COVID-19 vaccine trial is underway. 1,000 people will receive 2 shots of either the vaccine or an inactive placebo. Each participant must take their temperature, check for swelling around the injection site, and log symptoms daily. Information is tracked in an app by study nurses for 2 years. Martha Deacon is a Nashville native and didn't hesitate to join the trial.
It's great. They know exactly what they're doing. They're very efficient and they're fun to talk to.
Participants are still needed. If you would like to join the trial, send an email to covidvaccine@vumc.org. Also, officials are tracking the spread of the coronavirus. They are turning to sewage. A new CDC program searches for the disease in genetic material. Experts believe even those without symptoms shed the virus through human waste.
We're diving in now to the latest COVID numbers from the Tennessee Department of Health. Over 137,000 total cases now reported. That's out of nearly 2 million tests, leading to a positive percentage rate of 7.2. We are approaching 1,500 deaths in the state. However, nearly 100,000 people have recovered. Taking a live look now over downtown Nashville, here's something new. Tootsie's Orchid Lounge has gone through a bit of a change. They're reopening under Mayor John Cooper's modified Phase 2 plans. So to do that, they are starting to serve steaks and pork chops. The iconic purple building on Lower Broadway reopened about an hour ago. That's because they obtained a restaurant license from the state. And the city of Nashville is bouncing back very slowly since COVID-19 shutdowns began. Every week, the city is assessing the situation and deciding how to reopen properly. You can always track that progress online. Just click on COVID-19 pandemic on WKRN.com.
We have a breaking news alert fresh from the WKRN.com alert desk. A disappointment for race fans. News 2's Erica Francis has the note handed out just minutes ago. Erica?
Yeah, Bob. Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway says at the direction of Mayor John Cooper, it is canceling its All-Stars Tour Heroes 100 race that was set for August 29th. Now, the event will not be rescheduled in Nashville. Instead, the Champion Racing Association says it is looking for a potential replacement venue. They say fans who bought tickets will get a full refund. This comes after Nashville Mayor John Cooper discouraged sports crowds in Music City due, of course, to COVID-19. Now, that release says public safety remains a top priority for Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. The next race scheduled at the Speedway is local racing on Saturday, September 12th. Bob?
Thank you, Erica. Remember to check WKRN.com. We bring you instant breaking news alerts around the clock, both online and on our News 2 app.
Happening now, the search for a teenager in Columbia.